This video will talk about the idea of individualism versus collectivism. What is the idea of individualism? Individualism occurs when the person is himself, when the person does not belong to a group. The person thinks independently. It is motivated by their own preferences, needs, goals. It's all about me. Let's look at a poem that deals with the idea of individualism. One should not be looked upon with scorn because he or she violates the norm. We all have different ways of expression, different ways of answering our own questions. Life is but a short span soon to pass. Make the most of it while it lasts. Always be yourself. Now, if we look at the first stanza, and if we look at the lines that show the idea of individualism, we see that the last line, it says, always be yourself, tells us that an individual cannot follow others. An individual has to be always himself, to express himself. And even the line where it says we all have different ways of expression continues to tell us that every individual is different. Now, when we look at the second stanza, some might question your fashion, but I ask you to just imagine what it would be like if we were all the same. In life's unpredictable game, wouldn't it be somewhat lame? You have a right to freedom of expression, so when they ask, give them this suggestion: always be yourself. In the second stanza, the lines that show the lines of individualism are what it would be like if we were all the same. Again, continues with the idea that if we were all the same, what kind of a world would it be? People need to be individuals. And at the end, it continues with always be yourself. Now, the idea of collectivism is different from individualism. In collectivism, a person is part of a group. We. The person is linked to other groups. The person is also connected to the same values. For example, it could be family values, or it could be religious values. The person sacrifices for others. The person cares for others. Now, looking at this poem on collectivism, as part of this group, we are all ingredients of the soup. Each one makes a difference. Each one has their unique presence. With us demands all's attendance, but don't of course be an irritable menace. Effort emulates emotions, results reinforces rewards. Now in this poem we see the first two lines deal with the idea that we are all part of a group, and when we are all part of a group, we are all together, ingredients of the same soup. And each one makes a difference, but at the end, we are all part of a group. Now, let's look at a video that deals with this idea of collectivism. The video is a video for a shoe company called Reebok. In this video, you're going to see a lot of weird images, but the weird images shows this idea of individualism, and also pay attention to the words, you be you.
Time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance. Insist on yourself, never imitate. To believe that what is true for you in your private heart is true for all men. That is genius.
So as you can see, the company Reebok here shows through the weird images how the idea of individualism works. Now in the next video, Apple Computers, or the Apple company, gives us a video of different famous people, and it also expresses the idea of individualism.
Here's to the crazy ones, the rebels, the troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. While some may see them as the crazy ones, crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
So here we see again the idea of individualism, famous people who dare to be different, who didn't want to be like the rest of society. Now the next video will show the opposite of individualism, and it will show a commercial for Coke. And this was a commercial that was released in 1971, and it shows the idea of working together, the idea of collectivism.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I like to teach the world to sing with me. Perfect harmony. I like to buy the world a home and keep it company.
And as you saw in the video, we see how people from all over the world are working together and they are forming part of a group. And finally, let's look at a final video, which is from a movie, a cartoon movie that shows how collectivism works. Okay, so here we have seen through these videos and through the poems how individualism and collectivism work.